In the 1970s, football was raw, brutal, and unforgiving, and some players hit so hard they became legends. Today, we're counting down the 10 hardest hitters of the decade, the men who made opponents think twice before stepping on the field. Number 10, Ted Hendricks.
Ted Hendricks was a big old 6'8", 205-pound stork. He looked like a stork.
Ted Hendricks, aka the Mad Stork, wasn't just a linebacker, he was the position. Standing at 6'7", Hendricks towered over most offensive players, but it was his ability to strike with brutal force that made him one of the hardest hitters of the 1970s. His gangly frame belied his power, and when he came downhill, you knew someone was going to pay the price. Hendricks' key hit on a running back during a playoff game remains as one of the hardest hits in NFL history, and it helped the Raiders earn a reputation as one of the toughest teams in the league. Number 9, Jack Ham. Jack Ham was the heart and soul of the Pittsburgh Steelers' steel curtain defense. As a linebacker, he was known for his smarts, speed, and relentless hitting. Ham wasn't just tough, he was everywhere, making crucial tackles and setting the tone for his defense. He had a unique ability to read plays and deliver bone-crushing hits at just the right moment. One of his most iconic moments came when he stuffed a running back in the backfield during a playoff game, creating a collision that sent shockwaves through the stadium. Ham's tough-as-nails style made him a nightmare for offenses, and his hits left a lasting impression on anyone who crossed his path. Number 8, George Atkinson. George Atkinson was not just known for his ability to cover ground as a safety, he was feared for his explosive no-hold-bars hitting style. A member of the Raiders' fearsome defense, Atkinson's brutal hits often left opponents on the ground, unable to shake the impact. His clash with a wide receiver in a primetime game set the tone for the Raiders' hard-hitting reputation, and his aggressive nature earned him a spot as one of the hardest hitters in the NFL during the 1970s. When Atkinson was in the secondary, crossing the middle wasn't just risky, it was downright dangerous. If you're enjoying these legendary hits, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more of the hardest hitting players in NFL history. Drop a comment with the hardest hitter in your opinion from the 1970s. Let's see who you think belongs on this list. Now, let's continue the countdown. Number 7, Mike Curtis. Mike Curtis was the quintessential linebacker, tough, relentless, and always delivering a hit that made people sit up and take notice. Playing for the Baltimore Colts, Curtis delivered a career-defining hit during the 1971 AFC Championship game, knocking a receiver out cold and sending a message to the entire league. Known for his fierce playing style, Curtis became a legend for his ability to fill gaps and make devastating tackles, leaving a trail of broken players in his wake. If you crossed paths with Curtis, you didn't just lose yards, you paid for it in pain. Number 6, Deacon Jones. Deacon Jones was known as the Secretary of Defense for a reason. His fierce pass rushing ability made him one of the most feared defensive linemen in NFL history, but it was his bone-crushing hits that earned him a legendary status. As a member of the Rams' fearsome foursome, Jones redefined what it meant to be a hard hitter. His ability to time his hits perfectly and his raw power made him a terror on the field. One of his signature moments came when he hit a quarterback so hard the impact still resonates as one of the most iconic tackles in football history. For Jones, it wasn't just about making the play, it was about making sure you remembered who made it. Number 5, Mel Blount. Mel Blount wasn't just a shutdown corner, he was a force of nature. At 6'3", he towered over most receivers and used every inch of that frame to punish them at the line of scrimmage. He didn't just jam you, he launched you into another zip code. Blount's hits were so devastating, the NFL eventually changed the rules to limit contact beyond 5 yards, a move many called the Mel Blount rule. In the 1970s, when passing games were already dangerous territory, facing Blount meant you weren't just risking an incompletion, you were risking your body. His playoff hit on a receiver in 1976 remains one of the hardest ever delivered by a cornerback, a reminder that in this era, he didn't just cover, He dominated, intimidated, and often ended plays before they even began. Number 4. Joe Greene. Mean Joe Greene wasn't just a force on the field. He was a living nightmare for offensive lines. As the anchor of the Pittsburgh Steelers' steel curtain defense, Greene's power and aggression were unmatched. At 6'4" and 275 pounds, he didn't just collapse pockets, he obliterated them. Known for his relentless pursuit and brutal hits, Greene was a terror for quarterbacks and running backs alike. One of his most legendary moments came in Super Bowl IX, where he dominated the Minnesota Vikings offensive line, helping the Steelers win their first title. Greene's signature hits weren't just about power, they were about sending a message. When you faced him, you were in for a war. Number 3. Jack Lambert. Jack Lambert's intensity and toughness made him the heart and soul of the Pittsburgh Steelers' steel curtain defense. As a linebacker, Lambert hit with the force of a freight train, and his leadership on the field was unmatched. Known for his fierce nature and aggression, Lambert's hits left a lasting impact on anyone who dared to run the ball his way. One of his most famous moments came when he delivered a hit on a running back that not only stopped the play, but sent a message to the entire league about the kind of defender he was. Number 2. Dick Butkus. Dick Butkus wasn't just a linebacker. He was a living nightmare for every offensive player in the NFL during the 1970s. Known for his relentless aggression, Butkus' hits were like a freight train barreling through the line of scrimmage. His ability to read plays, close on ball carriers, and deliver crushing blows made him one of the most feared players of all time. One of his most iconic moments came when he laid out a running back in the open field with a hit so brutal it became part of NFL lore. Butkus didn't just hit you, he broke your will, your play, and maybe your ribs in the process. Number 1. Jack Tatum. Jack Tatum is a name synonymous with hard-hitting football. Known as the Assassin, Tatum was a safety who made his living delivering some of the hardest, most punishing hits in NFL history. He wasn't just a player, he was a weapon. His hit on a defenseless receiver in the 1970s became one of the most infamous and terrifying plays in NFL history. Tatum's reputation as a fearsome tackler has cemented him as the hardest hitter of the 1970s. When Tatum arrived, you knew it was going to be a collision, and one that would be felt for a long time after the whistle. Which of these hits shocked you the most? Did we miss a player who brought even more power to the field during the 1970s? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love powerful hits and deep dives into football history, hit that like button and subscribe for more legendary content every week. See you on the next one.